So the way that works, after class, I go back to my desk. I actually have a spreadsheet. Cause I'll indicate like, told me in advance, didn't tell me. So, um, if you didn't check in, I've caught you. Like, I'm like, oh no, she was there and I fixed it. Otherwise you get an email from me being like, we missed you in class today, what's up? And you haven't gotten those, so that means I haven't marked you absent. Has anybody seen Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Christmas show live? That's what I was playing. Highly recommend it if you ever get a chance.
On my list.
Yeah, it's like, so you know the music, you may not realize you do, but it's very popular Christmas music. It's the Carol of the Bells, it's like so they're like rock band, it's like rock show meets Christmas show meets laser light show. It's crazy, it's super fun. And people come dressed up, everything from like, people wear tuxes and people will wear like a punk rock concert, like you get everything under the sun. It's really fun. All right, folks, happy Thanksgiving week. I have just a few things to go over with you, a few tips. And then I'll give you time to work, and of course, I'll be here to help you. So your exam, as you probably noticed, I did finish grading those and release the scores. That was a harder exam than the first one. So I would say I thought you did well, like I was pleased. I think you should be pleased. The overall average was a touch below the first one, which is totally normal, because it's a harder exam. But all in all, I felt good about that. I hope you did too. You know, some people went up a little, some people went down a little. Occasionally had a big jump, but for the most part, you were like in the range of your last one. I do have them if you want it. I'm not necessarily gonna give them out in part because there's just too many people not here and that's gonna be confusing. But if you really like are anxious to see it, I do have it. If you said you wanted to replace your App5 score, that has been done. I did double check to make sure your exam score was actually better than your App5 score. If it wasn't, I did not replace. I didn't be like, oh, sorry. But those replacements have been made. I don't know if you got a notification about that. Probably not. Do you get a notification like your grade was changed?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, apparently it's about settings. Okay. All right, so that's that. I'm not going to go over it line by line, but there is one in particular I want to talk about, and that's the correlations. So I gave you a stat, and it was like the correlation between sense community and wanting to go to ASU and is 0.3, okay, 0.30, okay. First of all, I don't think anybody caught it, but the fact that was a correlation should have tipped you off that the wanting to go to ASU again measure was interval. You weren't sure, because that requires 2 interval data, but so it's 0.30. So I think for the most part, we understand or understood that positive correlations are best friends. They go in the same direction. So as sense community increases, wanting to go to ASU again increases. Okay, so I think we're pretty good there. The one thing that I saw a few people get confused on that I want to emphasize, particularly because a lot of your project is correlations, is some of you told me that sense community at ASU is high, which may be the case. And it may not be. That data doesn't tell us anything about how high sense of community is. And let me show you an example here to demonstrate that. Okay. So let's say each of these are measured on a 5-point scale. So let's say this person's sense community is 1, or likely to go issue again is 1, both low. This person was 2 and 2, another 1 and 2, 1 and 1. Okay. 3 and 5. I can't type 5, okay. 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 1 and 1. Okay. Etc. I'm gonna make this a bigger data set. So if this was our data, we would see the average sense of community, I think it's gonna be fairly low, yeah, 1.8. Okay, low sense of community. Okay, likelihood of going to ASU again, 2.09, low. Okay. However, not really however, in addition, if I were to run the correlation, 0.88, ridiculously high. Okay, almost a perfect correlation. This is a very strong correlation. Okay, meaning as sense community increases, wanting to go to ASU again increases. Okay, that relationship is strong. They move together. It doesn't tell us whether sense community is high or low, or if people want to do ASU again is high or low. We have to look at the mean scores for that. Okay, it just tells us the relationship between them is strong. Okay, so it can be really low, both can be really low and moving together. Or both can be really high and moving together. Okay, it doesn't tell us. Okay, so be careful when you interpret those correlation statistics that you don't make an assumption about how strong that variable is. Okay, it's just that relationship is strong. Does that make sense? And everybody's quiet this week and tired anyway. So, okay, so that's that. I know you don't have your exams in front of you, but do you have any questions, anything you can recall? Okay. Project presentations. So next Tuesday, okay, you are going to give your presentation of your project. Now, presentation are due Tuesday, December, what is that, the 2nd?
2nd.
Okay, your final projects are due the 10th. I do not anticipate you being finished with your project to do the presentation. We do this for 2 reasons. One is to give you force a little nudge to be making progress. Okay. And 2, I find we tend to learn from each other by just a little preview of what we're doing. Okay. So these are 1 slide, 1 minute. So you're going to prepare 1 slide. Okay. That slide is going to include at least 2 of your results. Okay. You've got like 15 or something to choose from. I forget exactly. Okay. At least 2 of your results and at least 1 recommendation for practice based on your results. Okay. Remembering your audience is ASU Student Services. Okay. That's it. That's it. Okay. There's an example. Okay. You can even use this as a template if you want. Okay. You don't have to graph your results. You can use a table, whatever, doesn't really matter. Results. Summarize them. Here's my recommendation. That's it. That's it. Remember, your recommendation should be based on your results. Okay, so I find when another reason I like doing these presentations, and a lot of you will be like, you'll do this, and I'll be like, so how's that relate to your results? It's a good idea. How's that relate to your results? Which for this purpose is fine. You might be like, oh, it doesn't. And I'm gonna be like, okay, fix that for the final. And you're fine for this. Okay. But that's gonna be the key. Okay. You're gonna be graded on professional presentation. Okay. Basically, did you like sloppily put it together last minute or does it look good? Okay. Did you present 2 results? And is your recommendations based on your data? Ideally, this is pretty easy points. Okay. Most people get 40s and 36s. Okay, the 36 means you get a little ding for your recommendations not be grounding your results. Okay. Occasionally someone will get a little dink on professional presentation. So even that pulls you down to 34, which is a B plus, right? Okay, so most of you are gonna, majority you're gonna get 40, few of you will get, a good chunk of you get 36, some of you get 34. Rarely does anybody get lower than that unless they just don't do it, which is another problem. Okay. But again, the goal here, force you to be making progress. Chance for some early feedback. And hopefully a nice little pickup of some easy points late in the semester. Okay, that's the goal. One slide, 1 minute. Many of you probably do not like the public presentation thing. So one slide, 1 minute. It's not John Sefton's class. What'd you have to do, like 15 minutes? Yeah. Most of you may not even need the minute, but by the time we transition. What questions do you have about that? Hopefully pretty straightforward. Hopefully. Recommendations. Tagging, a reminder, many of you are already starting to do this. In your documents, and it can be your Sheets document or your Google Doc document. You can tag me if you want me to look at something, or if you're stuck, need help, or if it's just like, does this look right? Like, feel free, just insert comment and then at me, at my ASU email. That will generate an email to me. I'll see your comment, say something. Sometimes people just tag me and I think, well, I don't know what you want. Hi, you're just saying hi, okay, hi. So like, can you look at this section? Is this right? Why am I getting an error message here? Whatever you need. Usually, and I think those of you who've done it already find I'm usually gonna reply to this pretty quickly, because most of the time, they're pretty easy things for me to glance at. And my meeting schedule gets a little lighter over the next couple of weeks, so. Okay. But don't be shy about using that. Yes, if you're stuck on a formula, I encourage you to try to figure it out yourself, but also don't figure it out to the point that you're about to jump off a cliff. Reach out for help. You're laughing knowingly. You know, okay. Like, reach out, that's what I'm here for. And then a couple of you also already scheduled meetings with me to go over that. I'm also happy to just sit down if you're like, I'm completely overwhelmed by this, I can't do it. We just sit down and do it with me? Yes. Like, find time on my calendar, a couple of you are already booked. Again, that's from the front page of Canvas. Schedule a meeting with Eric right there. If you need to do the whole thing, I'd book 60 minutes. If you just need a little help, probably 30 is fine. That can be Zoom or in person. You'll see, well, oh, I should block Thanksgiving from my calendar. Don't book me Thanksgiving weekend. We see it's not bad. Yeah, next week it's much better. And I always like seeing you in person, but quite honestly, frequently, if we're on Sheets, sometimes it's easier to do it on Zoom because we can screen share. Right. That's my list. Back to the presentations. What's going to happen is I'm gonna do a random generator of order. So you're just going to come in. I'll post it on Canvas. I know some people, particularly if you're anxious about presentations, just knowing the order might. So I'll post that on Canvas. Here's going to be the order we're going to present in. If for some reason you absolutely need to be first or absolutely need to be last, let me know. Otherwise, it's just going to be a random generator. We'll queue up like 3 or 4 of you at a time, like, because they're that fast. You know, like one person presenting, and Kayla will be like on deck. I may use the sporting analogy. Hey, we'll rotate through. Please, I'll ping you on Canvas, but please do submit your presentations on Canvas. And the reason for that is just so I can have it queued up quickly. I actually don't even care if it's by midnight, as long as it's before class, so I can just queue it up quickly. But that's how that will work. So next week, Tuesday, we presentations. Thursday, I'll talk about on Tuesday. Thursday will be a wrap-up day. Your projects are due the 10th-ish. We'll talk about the ish caveat next week. You should be in shape. Questions? Comments? Snide remarks? Anybody online have any questions? All right, folks, make sure whether you're in person or on Zoom that you check in on iCloud for me, particularly the Zoom. Like I'm probably not gonna notice if you didn't check in. With that, the rest of the time is yours. If you're in the classroom, obviously, I'm here to help. If you want to stay on Zoom, you can. I'll check in every once in a while. Just send me a chat if you want help. You also are free to exit if you'd like. Okay, time is yours.
Mhm.